What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Face Off Sports Network. I'm Anthony Servino. Follow me on X at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at the FF Faceoff and at fffaceoff.com. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. Back with me on a football Sunday. Last minute start sit questions. Everything in between. Pete Nova at Supernova 38. Pete, what's going on? We got the London game going on and a big day of football ahead.
Yeah, London game is here. I think it's last London game of the year, and then I think we get Mexico next week. I think we get Mexico, or is it
or Germany?
Germany, yeah, one of those. I think it's one of them. But yeah, I'm ready to go. It's going to be a messy, gross game in my opinion. The one thing, I'm on Jags, Patriots +7. I also know you're on Bigsby to score. I am too, and then I have Bigsby 73.5 rushing and receiving. Then I have Kirk 41.5. I like Hunter Henry a lot today. He just caught a nice pass. I'm starting him in DFS in a couple leagues as well. But yeah, ready to roll. We got some people here already that loaded up some comments. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get it going.
Yeah, let's go.
So Zach Linton said Higgins, Darnell Mooney, Dobbs, BTJ, Wandale need to in PPR. Mooney kind of scares me this week a little bit going against those Seattle corners, being a smaller guy. I thought I saw there was a chance that the Seattle corners are out, so I want to see that injury report because if both guys are missing, then I think you got to play Mooney. But I lean definitely probably starting Higgins. Obviously, BTJ is out because he's playing right now, so I don't know if this question has changed because maybe he started BTJ or not. But let's just assume BTJ's out. Who are you going with?
See, we got Higgins against the Browns. Dubs scares me because he gets targeted, but his floor, outside of when he gets those 1 or 2 touchdowns, is limited. I would have, I would go BTJ. Obviously, he's playing right now, but if you didn't, I would probably say.
I think it's Mooney. You like Wandale?
I kind of like Wandale's floor against Philly. But if you need more ceiling plays, Higgins and Mooney.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so Tariq Woolen's out. Trey Brown is out. So 2 corners there. They're missing Jarek Reed, who's a safety with a knee injury. This team's banged up. They're missing some tackles on the O-line, and Julian Love full practice, so he's going to play their other free safety. Boye Mafe is banged up too. Byron Murphy banged up, but is full participant. So yeah, I would go Mooney and Higgins for me. Anthony prefers Wandale, but that would be my preference. Zach, if you're still here. Tech Gamer said start Jordan Mason or Devonta Smith as a flex PPR play, or Aaron Jones or Marvin Jr. So I'm assuming it's start one out of these 4. Is that what you're getting from this, Anthony? I mean, starts off with Mason or Devonta, and then adds in or Jones or Marv. I think if it's one between the 4, I'm going Devonta Smith. But if it's between the first 2 and then the second 2, I'd go Smith and Marv.
Well, all 4 of these on paper have tough matchups. Aaron Jones is intriguing, but I don't like the matchup. What I do like about Aaron Jones is that they use him in the passing game, and he's also going to get the goal line work. It's either Devonta or Aaron Jones for me, and I would probably lean Devonta Smith.
Yeah, Devonta gets a solid matchup going against the Giants. Secondary-wise, Giants are they've been all right. 18th in terms of points allowed to the position at the wide receiver group. But yeah, they're still giving up a decent amount, 32.5 points. All right, last rights is in here. He said PPR, Darnell Movie, or Marvin Harrison Jr. Who starts this week? So yeah, you got Mooney going against Seattle. They're down Tariq Woolen. Witherspoon is up. And then you have Marv, who coming off the concussion, is playing a Chargers defense who they've been pretty damn good this year. Chargers are 28th in terms of points allowed to the position, so they're 5th total. What do you think here?
Marvin is such a difficult person to sit, but the Chargers haven't given up much. Like they've actually, what's odd is that Denver wide receivers 2 weeks ago or last week, three of them went for over 11.6 PPR points. Sutton, Vele, and Franklin. That was the most productive we've seen from a wide receiver crew against the Chargers. We've also seen Pickens and Calvin Austin both go for double digits. But everywhere else, like they erased the Raiders, they erased the Panthers, what it worth that was with Bryce Young, the Chiefs. So, like, are the Chargers this good, or is it who they have played? Because it seems like outside of the Raiders and Panthers, they've started to show a little bit of leakiness in their secondary. And that makes Marvin Harrison Jr. intriguing, but I feel safer with Darnell Mooney. I think this is a higher scoring game with Seattle and Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I would go Mooney, in my opinion. I do want to grab this, and then we'll go back to the top three. P said Giants, defense, Rams, or Detroit. I'm sorry, not Detroit. Colts. Colts and Giants are in my waiver wire video. I've dug in a little bit more, and I actually prefer the Rams over all three, who are pretty low roster percentage. So I would jump with the Rams. Jacoby Myers is out, and Aiden O'Connell actually, I think I saw something. He hasn't run one time this year, Aiden O'Connell. I just think that D line is getting better every week for the Rams. They have a young line with Jared Verse and some other guys there. Rondé Stevenson with a nice run. Michael Lopez says, Wilson or Rudolph, I need help.
Jesus. Yeah, you do.
So Mason Rudolph and Russell Wilson. Rudolph gets the Bills. Russ gets the Jets. I go Russ here because of the rushing upside. We saw what he was able to do last year. And I think this Bills defense is going to be stingy. So I prefer Russ. I don't love either guy, but I would go Russ here.
Yeah, Bills, you can run on them. I think this is going to be a big day for Tony Pollard. They're pretty good in their secondary. Russell Wilson, to be fair, and you can go back to the archives, I was drafting Pittsburgh Steelers pass catchers, notably Freiermuth and Pickens, with the assumption Russell Wilson was going to be the week one starter.
Yeah.
I think Russell Wilson is going to be a big boost for this offense. I get that people think he's washed. He's a much better thrower. Like his numbers in Denver weren't bad last year. So I kind of like Russ. Jets DBs are a little bit banged up. Sauce is going to play, but I think they're going to be down one or two corners. I get these are two defensive teams. There could be some hidden fireworks in this. I'm going to go Russ.
Yeah.
You know, I think Russ is playing for his career right now. This is a career week for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I don't know about career week.
I'm talking about to save his career.
Oh, yes. I thought you meant like a career day, like he was going to have that good of a day. I was going to say,
I think he's playing for his career the next few games.
Yeah, I mean,
is he ever going to be viewed as starter again?
It's hard. I mean, it is telling, and we said this a bunch of times, Ramondre Stevenson with a touchdown. Actually,
yes.
That looks like 39.
What?
I don't know if that. I thought Ramondre was 38. That looked like 39. The guy has dreads. It's not. It's JaMychal Hasty.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, JaMychal Hasty. Yeah, I mean, I think it's telling that the Steelers. Oh, I just realized that my mic is literally all the way over here. I don't know. Could you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on. I gotta fix that. And my microphone
also is coming from my camera, so that probably sounds. Does that sound better?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jumping in. Michael L said Andy Dalton or Stafford to start this week.
That's ATL Mikey, by the way.
I know it is.
Our friend ATL.
I know. Stafford gets. I actually happen to.
There's no cup today.
I know, but I still happen to like Stafford against this Raiders defense. Andy Dalton is getting. Who's Dalton getting?
Washington. I love the matchup.
Yeah, I'm still gonna I'm gonna go with Stafford. I know Anthony's gonna go Washington. The reason being is that Washington can control the clock. They run the ball so much, and they sustain drives that it just limits the amount of opportunities. So I also like Washington as a streamer today. So I prefer Stafford, but Anthony, I guess you think Dalton.
Yeah, I'm going to go Andy Dalton. Just negative game script. They're going to have to throw the football, and plus, as good as Washington's offense is, like the issue on Carolina, like they can move the football. Chuba Hubbard, they can control the clock with Chuba as well, and they have just enough firepower for Andy. So, like this could be a closer game than I think people think.
Yeah.
Washington's still going to win. I think they still win by 2 scores, but I think it'll be close enough to where we get a productive day from Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Zach Linton's back in, says morning. I don't know, Zach, if you caught the beginning of the show, but we did answer your question. Not sure if you started BTJ. Anthony preferred Mooney and Wandale. If BTJ didn't get the start for you, I preferred Mooney and Higgins. Daniel Cap says I didn't play Ramondre and watch him go off. Well, Michael Hasty just scored a touchdown, so you're probably feeling a little better about seeing that. Jared Fortin said, morning guys, need 1 PPR, Juju, Wandale, Sermon. And would you play Madison or Sermon over Mason in PPR? Definitely not Sermon. Madison gets the Rams. It's actually a pretty sneaky play. I got to think about that one. I think for the wide receivers, I prefer Wandale over Juju and Sermon in PPR. What about you?
Ooh. I think I would rank them Wandale, Juju, Sermon, and then if Zamir White plays, I think that's going to downgrade Madison's touches a little bit, but Madison still seems to get those goal line carries. And no, I would start Mason over the other guys. I don't even love Mason this week, but I would start him over Sermon and Madison.
I agree. I hate Sermon this week. I like Goodson better.
Wandale might be one of the pound for pound best draft picks you could have made in fantasy in a PPR league.
Yeah, I agree. We were on him like in freaking April when we were freaking doing sicko best ball drafts.
Yep.
Yeah. Daniel Caps said, A-Chain, Monty, PPR, I'm playing Pollard. You're definitely playing Pollard. Pollard is a RB2 with RB1 upside this week, in my opinion. And then I would go Monty over A-Chain, but I don't know where you stand on that.
Monty over. This is close because A-Chan has a really nice matchup against Indy.
Yeah.
And we have, Monty is the weekly high floor play. I would slightly lean Monty, but I think if you need ceiling, like if you came out of Thursday Night Football trailing and you need somebody who could potentially hit you a home run or else you're going to lose, and that's A-Chan.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think that's a matchup play. Like, what do you need? And if you're down coming out of TNF and you think you need points, then I would go A-Chan. Otherwise, play it safe, go Monty. He's good for like 12, 15 points a week.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. All right, let's see. All in one show. Starting lineup: Burrow, Gibbs, Pollard, London, Flowers, Kittle, Jacobs. Bench is Cousins, Higgins, Kelsey, Waddle, Watson. Who can I replace for the lineup? So you got Kelsey on the bench. Do you prefer Kelsey or Kittle? I think you prefer Kelsey, right?
Ooh. That's actually close between Kittle and Kelsey because Kittle's actually been playing really good from a fantasy perspective, and he's been more consistent than I can remember him in years past. And now we have Kelsey cooking the past 2 games. And historically, Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes cooked the 49ers. I'm going to go Kelsey.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the historical route here, where these guys they show up in these big spots.
Yeah. And then anybody else? I mean, he's got London, Flowers, and I guess Jacobs in the flex. He's starting Gibbs and Pollard. Would you replace? I guess it's really, would you replace any of these guys with Higgins or Waddle? I don't think you'd replace any with Watson, but do you prefer Higgins over Josh Jacobs? Do you prefer Waddle over Josh Jacobs, or Flowers or London. Honestly, I prefer Higgins over Jacobs. I'm not gonna lie, but it's close.
I might go that way too. Like Josh Jacobs, if my biggest worry and why I faded him this year was not only volume but touchdown opportunities. If he does not score, he's like a little bit more expensive version of Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Like without and it seems like they just throw the hell out of the football with Jordan Love. Like he is their goal line back. He's just going to find an open guy and get him the football.
Yeah, I agree. Juan, nope, sorry, Brandon Lopez. We'll get to you in a second. Juan said pick one flex: Najee Harris, Juju, or Chase Brown. So we just talked about Najee. PPR wise, matchup wise, the Najee gets a tough Jets defense. Juju gets the Cardinal. I'm sorry, the 49ers, and then Chase Brown and them get Cleveland. I'm definitely not starting Juju. I think I'm still going to go Chase Brown here. He's been hot. He's been good. I know Najee had a good week last week, but that matchup is tough. And I'll go with Chase Brown, who's been the most consistent out of the three.
Yeah, I like Chase Brown as well. Last week, for the first time, he had more snaps and touches than Moss. And I think that's going to continue. Like most people, I don't say most, but there was like a sheer 50-50 split on who was the guy in this backfield. And Chase Brown, up to this point, is beginning to take over as the clear-cut RB1 in Cincy. So I'm going to go Chase Brown and ride the hot hand.
Yeah, kind of with you there. Okay, so Hoff said, be sure to hit that like button. Yes, if you are here right now, we have 20 people live on YouTube, 2 on Facebook, 1 on Twitch, and then a bunch on Twitter. Hit us with a like. I'm sure we're going to get more people that are going to start coming in. London game is on, but usually once we're about 20 minutes in, it starts to pile in. So hit that like button for us and get your questions in, and we'll continue to answer them as we roll on. Juan Pena Jr. said, who for my wide receiver 2 in flex? Wan'Dale Robinson, Alexander Madison, Lazard, Josh Downs, Tyler Goodson, Leggett, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is out. Christian Watson, Jordan Whittington, or Rashad Bateman. For me, I like Jordan Whittington this week. No Cooper Kupp against a bad secondary in the Raiders. So I'm going to ride with Jordan Whittington, who I think I could be wrong. I'd have to look at it, but I think he's had 8 targets in the last 2 games. I think he had 8 and 10, but I'd have to look that up. But it's somewhere close to that. So for me, it'd be Whittington. I also would go with Leggett because if there's a chance Deontay Johnson's limited, it's a good matchup either way. So I go Leggett. And then I think for my third guy, I would go with Wan'Dale.
He needs 3 or 2?
3. Wide receiver 2 in a flex. Sorry, I read that as 2 wide receivers in a flex. So I would go Leggett and I'd go Whittington over Wan'Dale. I know you're going to disagree with me there, but I'd go Whittington.
I like Whittington too. I just feel more comfortable with Wan'Dale Robinson. He's just been like the best floor play in PPR right now. Now Whittington is coming on, like you said, getting target share. The Raiders are actually like a top 9 defense in fantasy production allowed to wide receivers, probably because you can run all over them, which is a little bit concerning. I would either go Wan'Dale and Whittington, or if you want to mix a little bit of ceiling, and I like Christian Watson a lot this week. I think we can start seeing an emergence of Christian Watson in this offense. And maybe, I'm a little bit of a Christian Watson guy, and I want him to do good and overcome the injuries. But it seems like, when he's with Jordan Love, if you watch these games, he targets Christian Watson in the money zone.
Yeah, he definitely does. That's his guy that he looks at during when they are in the red zone for sure. Moving on here. He also said, should I pick up ETN off of waivers? I still got Kyron, Kenneth Walker, and Breece Hall. I just traded Josh Jacobs, Tank Dell for Justin Jefferson. Fair trade. Yeah. Jacobs and Tank Dell for Jefferson's a fleece. You made out like a bandit there. As for picking up ETN, it depends who you're dropping. You have Kyron, Kenneth Walker, and Breece Hall, so you're in a good spot. I'm assuming this is probably like an 8 to 10 man league. I don't know if you have to pick up ETN. I mean, if he's there, I wouldn't like him sitting on waivers,
Yeah.
so I would pick him up, but I
Yeah.
just don't know who you're dropping. I'd need to know your bench.
Yeah, I would say you 100% pick him up if you don't have to drop anybody of significant relevance. But like, even if you never use him, you're potentially grabbing a top 12 running back from another team. There's a strategy play involved here.
Yeah.
Because, who knows what can happen? They could fire Doug Peterson. They could fire Press Taylor, and this offense could begin to click in the second half. And then down the stretch, Travis Etienne might be on one of your opponent's teams. You're playing him in the fantasy playoffs.
Yep, kind of with you there. He also said, which defense, Commanders, Colts, Bengals, Ravens, or Chiefs? I prefer the Bengals over all of these. I'm starting to get buying even more on Commanders this week. I just have a feeling about this game. Positive game script for the defense, who's probably going to be able to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And for what it's worth, Carolina has, from an efficiency and from a EPA standpoint, they're at the bottom of the league, even though Dalton's been in there and they've been moving it better. Demetrius Molina said, what's going on with Kenneth Walker? Yeah, apparently he's sick. His birthday is today. So people were speculating, they're in Atlanta, all the strip clubs that they have going on down there. Maybe he partied a little too hard last night for his birthday and has got a tummy ache this morning. I know that sounds silly, but I'm all jokes aside, he's sick. May not go today. I've taken him out of my lineups because for some reason I just have the vibe that he won't play. But yeah, that's really what we know now, as of where it stands with Kenneth Walker here this morning. Cameron Bullock, Laporta or Najee, Gibbs, Najee or Chase Brown. I'm sorry, Laporta or Njoku, and then Gibbs, Najee or Chase Brown. It's Njoku for me. I think he's in a smash start this week. Big game. No Amari Cooper. Good matchup against that defense.
Yeah.
We'll get to that super chat.
Oops, sorry.
You're good. We'll grab him in a second. We'll grab him in a second. Yeah. So, do you prefer Laporta or Njoku? You agree with me, or
probably Njoku? Like Laporta's volume is concerning. He had that big game last week on one target against Dallas. Like Njoku and Judy, they could be hyper targeted moving forward down the line. Even Elijah Moore's you can pick him up on waivers if you have a deep enough bench. But I'll probably go Njoku here.
Yeah. Yep, kind of with you there. Drake May with a nice run, 17 yards. So a decent start for him today. And then he said Gibbs, Najee, or Chase Brown. I'm going to go with Gibbs. It's a tough matchup. But I'm not really starting Gibbs. Sitting Gibbs ever, which is ironic because Montgomery's a lineup block every week as it is. And I think Gibbs pretty much is as well. And they both play for the same team, but both these guys have been productive.
I'm with you. Like Gibbs a locked and loaded starting player in your lineups every week. Even on a bad game, he's still good for double digits. If you did want to pivot, it's Chase Brown, but I'm keeping Gibbs in there. These are the type of players, like in a potential high-scoring matchup, he's the type of big play running back that could take over a game, even though it's a bad matchup. Like, Gibbs is a special player.
Yeah, I agree with you there. ATL said, Pete, big MLB game tonight. What is your best baseball bet for tonight? I know Anthony mentioned baseball weeks ago, and Anthony, what WNBA you got? Go LA. I haven't really looked at I haven't really looked too much at the baseball games today. I do like the Dodgers to close it out, but Sean Manaea on the mound, he's pitched pretty well. I'd have to see who the Dodgers are pitching first. So hit me up in the DMs and I'll give you a better feel. Anthony, have you looked at NBA bets yet? Is there anything on your radar yet at the moment?
WNBA?
I thought he meant NBA. Yeah, I guess WNBA.
Honestly, the Liberty at home, they lost last year. Fucking go with the home. I think ATL he wants to bust people's balls because he lives in New York, but I think they take it. I want to see this team do it.
All right.
By the way, I like women's basketball a lot.
Yeah, well, it's getting more popular. Caitlin Clark is now
Angel Reese. I have a poster of her on my wall. I'm just kidding, but I will get one. My wife would let me.
Nothing new on Kenneth Walker yet. Hoff said. Matt Schmidt, who also said that you guys are the best. Appreciate it. He said, need full PPR, Christian Watson, Josh Downs, Kareem Hunt, Juju, Xavier Worthy, Michael Pittman. I'm starting Xavier Worthy this week. Off a bye, Andy Reid, best coach in NFL history, best record. He's 800 in terms of his record coming off of the bye. I think with the injuries, they've had some time. Worthy, the rookie, he's settling in a little bit more. And without Rice, I think they're definitely game planning him for this game. That's kind of how I feel for it. And then I think I would start. I don't want to start Pittman or Downs, but I think I'd go with Christian Watson on a flyer there. Maybe Kareem Hunt. I don't know. What do you think?
So I feel about Christian Watson. I like this spot for him. He's gaining momentum. Like for me, it's Watson and Worthy. The issue with both of them is that they're ceiling plays. If you wanted to play a little bit more safe, I would go Worthy and maybe Downs. But like the issue I have with Downs is I just don't trust Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Like as great as Downs, like the only straw I can grasp for Josh Downs that maybe, they're going to set Richardson up for a couple of like high percentage passes, some easy completions to Josh Downs in the slot to maybe get things going, get a little bit of confidence. But
yeah, I'm with you there. If I was going for a floor play, I'd go with Kareem Hunt just because of the workload. I know Anthony's worried about CEH. But if you were going for a floor play, I would go Kareem Hunt and Worthy still. If you're comfortable taking the swing on upside, I'd go Watson and Worthy for me. I just realized I was so high on Hunter Henry today. I really should have bet him. He's already got 3 catches for 36 yards. I really should have bet him.
I took May's rushing yards. Like it's
17.
early, dude. He's reminding me of Josh Allen a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, May was my QB2. I actually had him over Daniels. Daniels is my QB3. So it's not like it's the best take to come out in victory lap because Jaden Daniels has been amazing. But I really do like Drake May. He really does remind me of Josh Allen in some ways. Maybe not as physical, but like mobility and the power that he has in his arm. So I like Drake May a lot. All right, moving on here. Mook Devillion said Waddle or Pickens this week. I'm gonna go Waddle. I'm gonna go Waddle. I mean, I think it's a really good matchup for these wide receivers. I think he's a safer play. I do think Sauce is going to be all over Pickens, and so Hunter Henry with another 10-yard catch. But I like Waddle over Pickens this week.
So yeah, I mean Waddle, it's been bad, but he's gotten, over 7.6 PPR points in 3 out of 4 games without Tua. That's not great, but like it could be worse. And now he has a really good matchup. The matchup opens up at Indy. I guess Waddle, I have a gut feeling on Pickens, but like I think the smarter plays Waddle. I think the matchup plays Waddle, but I like Pickens a lot with Russell Wilson. I will say that. So if you want Pickens, I'm not going to kill you on it because I'm probably using Pickens myself in a few spots.
Yeah. Full PPR from Charles Sino said need a flex, Jordan Mason, Chase Brown, Darnell Mooney, or Juju. My gut says Darnell Mooney today. Out of these guys, if it wasn't Mooney, I'd go Chase Brown. Mason would be the 3, and then Juju would be the 4 for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would go with that as well. Exactly same rankings.
By the way, is Ramondre Stevenson out now? Like I think Jermichael Hasty just. Oh no, that is Stevenson. They both have dreads. They're 38 and 39.
Yeah.
Super hard to tell which guy's which right now. All right. Pablo said Njigba or Worthy full PPR. Actually, this is a pretty good one. Justin Simmons is playing. I know Anthony loves DK this week. I'm gonna go with Worthy here. I don't know. My gut just says big game for Worthy this week. I get it. It's a risk. He's the riskier play. If you want safe, go at JSN in my opinion. But I think Worthy's. I just got a feeling that he's gonna pop off today.
I'm gonna. I might slightly end with JSN. I do like DK Metcalf, but I like the overall shootout in this matchup in Atlanta. and JSN, 3 straight games with 10.3 PPR points or more and 7 targets. Worthy probably has a higher ceiling, but if you want to play, like, again, it's what does your matchup need more? If you need ceiling, go Worthy. If you're in a close matchup and you can't afford a bust, because there was always that bust potential with Worthy, then go with JSN. But I can see a world where both can do well.
Yeah, it's early. Did you take Pats +7 with me or no? Did you end up taking it?
I took Pats outright.
Oh, you took them to win.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Because I mean, it's a good start for them. All right, we got a $10 super chat from Frito. We appreciate it. Frito's consistent guy comes in here, always supports the show, and throws us a little bit of money our way. Helps us out tremendously. We appreciate that. He said Terry McLaurin or Mike Evans for the flex, Kelsey or Otten at tight end. I think it's Kelsey. Pretty easily go with Kelsey. And then honestly, I love Terry this week. So I'm gonna ride with Terry. Baltimore is a good matchup for Evans, though. That secondary is susceptible, but I can't sit Terry against Carolina right now.
So all 4 of these players are in good spots. Even Cade Otten has been getting a little bit of volume. He has a great matchup. Kittle has been coming on. Not the greatest matchup, but historically he kills the 49ers. Then you got both of these wide receivers and potential smash spots. But for me, I'm not sitting Travis Kelsey, especially with, if this was a few weeks ago, I would probably go out at this point. But since he does have a historical against San Francisco, since he has come on the past 2 games, then I'm going to go Travis Kelsey fairly comfortably over Cade Otten. And on the other side, it's really tough because there's going to be points in both of these matchups. But I feel like the hotter hand is Terry McLaurin than Mike Evans right now.
Yeah, it's not a hot take at all.
And is there any concern that Baltimore's run defense they're gonna erase that running game and can Baker play a one-dimensional game script?
I sure hope so because I'm starting Baker over Kyler.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, not great. All right. Well, Frito, that answers your question. If you got anything else, we'll gladly pull you up as a priority. If you have any other questions, we'll get you.
You're going to get like a 2 touchdown, one of those 2 touchdown games from Evans, or like 10 points. Like I don't see in these spots, he's either going to be the guy and just go for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, or he's going to have a mediocre day, and then we see ancillary weapons and Godwin do most damage. Where Terry McLaurin, there's not much else in terms of the pass catching game. It's McLaurin, and they have a bunch of dudes, and then they really get the job done running the football.
And again, I think there's something to be said. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but when it comes to time of possession, you have a Commanders team who's going to probably have the ball for the majority of that game, and you have the Evans and the Ravens game where I think the Ravens, the way they play football, will probably control the ball, so that limits the amount of touches that Evans or opportunity that Evans will have. So that's kind of a little bit more insight as to why I lean that way. Dusty Johnson said Josh Jacobs, Hubbard, or Monty at running back. I'm going to continue to start Monty. It would be Hubbard and then Jacobs, but I'm going to go with Monty.
Ooh, it's close. Jacobs is 3rd for me. It's really close between Monty and Hubbard.
Yeah.
I think I would go Hubbard by a hair over Monty, as crazy as that sounds.
I don't think it's that crazy at all. Monty gets a tougher matchup. Hubbard's been absolutely great. And honestly, this you could buy into the narrative that, hey, Hubbard knows that, Jonathan Brooks is coming back probably next week. Maybe that plays into some more motivation for him. People will sit there and say they're NFL players, they don't need motivation, yada yada yada. But I still buy into that. Yeah, I still buy into that. I think people are they're getting paid, it's their job. Why do they need motivation? These guys are human as well. Yep. And especially when you're competitive and you're an athlete, a guy like Jonathan Brooks nipping on your heels, who they drafted high in this draft, definitely means something to Hubbard, in my opinion.
Tom Brady used to look for bulletin board material.
Yeah.
He would look for things to get pissed off about. I remember that, like the Giants, the year they beat the Patriots, and the Cowboys looked like the best team in the NFC. I know Jerry booked tickets. He already booked his tickets for the Cowboys for the title game, and I know the Giants defense, that was bulletin board material. Like that, they say that in their NFL documentaries. Yeah. So, like, yeah, there's absolutely a human element that goes into all this.
I'm with you there. Moving
many
on
times, Jerry's fucked us over.
Well, actually, while we're talking about the Cowboys, and Zach Linton said I started Michael Hasty in a 6-team league. Good spot there. I mean, that's a tough play, but it looks like you read it right. In a 16-man league, you're just hoping for a guy for a touchdown if you're starting a guy like Hasty, and you got that early. So everything else is gravy at this point. But how crazy is it to see this Cowboys team lose as badly as they did against the Saints? Now, mind you, the Saints are riddled with injuries. No Derek Carr, no Olave, no Shaheed. And so I do want to cut the Cowboys some slack in that department, because they got a healthy Cowboys team. I mean, a Saints team. But like with what Denver just did to the Saints, like, are the Cowboys this fucking bad, or is it that the Saints are that injured that they're just in they're like a completely different team than they were in week 2 when they played the Cowboys?
Look, I mean, the Cowboys at home, since being embarrassed in the playoffs, they've literally been demolished in every home game after going on a 2 or 3 year run where they were unstoppable at home. But like the Cowboys, like their defense is banged up. It wasn't in week 2. Like the Saints did what they wanted. I think the whole Zimmer thing, getting him off the streets and replacing Dan Quinn, probably 2 different systems. And the fact that, like, you hear NFL players say it all the time, if you can't stop the run, like, you have no balls, right? Like if you let somebody dominate you on the ground, that shows like you don't really have balls as a defense or balls as a football team. And I think that's the issue with Dallas right now.
Yeah.
They've been in all of these home losses, they've been completely dominated on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they can't stop a nosebleed. It's not great for them. All right, I gotta scroll back up here because I lost my place. Jared said, injured Taylor, would you send Mason and Garrett Wilson for Jonathan Taylor and DK? Yes, I would. I prefer DK rest of the season over Garrett Wilson. And you're getting that upgrade from Mason to Taylor, who Mason, we don't know what the shelf life is at this point. With CMC coming back, how involved will he be going forward? So yeah, I would absolutely do that deal.
So injured Taylor sent Mason and Garrett? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean DK has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't get him in more spots. I talked him up a lot, and it was funny in best ball. I remember specifically saying I was pissed. I just can't click on him because I'm not getting him in best ball because the way the draft keeps shaking out. I didn't get enough exposure to DK, and that was a mistake on my part because I really did like him. Frito with another $5 super. So he sent in $15 today. We appreciate you. Thanks so much, man. He said, if Walker is good to go, do I still start him over Jones and Hubbard? I would start Hubbard over Walker and Jones this week. I mean, what time do those games play? So I think that's the first thing. Seattle gets the 1:00 start. And Seattle, gets to go against Atlanta. I think I start Hubbard over Walker and Jones, though, this week. You?
It's yes over Aaron Jones. I'm just looking like Walker. He's been really good. Over 14.6 PPR points in all 4 games he's played. He's gone over 20 in 2 out of his past 3. Atlanta's run defense is good. But, Walker's had solid outings against Denver. Detroit, he went off for almost 35 points. They're one of the best run defenses in the league. It's fucking close. I love Hubbard this week. Let me just look at Hubbard one more time to see if I can find a reason. So when you got Hubbard, Washington, they're actually getting better against the run. But Walker, outside of week 1, double-digit PPR points in every single game. His low point since week 2 has been last week against Atlanta, so 15-3. And he didn't score 18 for 92 and then 5 for 11 as a receiver. Man, it's fucking close. It's a literal coin flip, Pete, for me.
Yeah, I get it. I think I'm still going Hubbard.
I'm gonna go Walker. I literally can find, because I'm looking like if Hubbard goes for 15-3 last week in this same matchup, I think Hubbard's the superior talent, and I trust his offense more to put him in
You
scoring
meant
position.
Walker. You meant Walker.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the negative game script possibly. I think maybe Hubbard can catch some passes if they're down and they're throwing. That's kind of my lean into it a little bit here. But I don't. I get it. By the way, this Jags team 3 minutes of time of possession to the New England 13. I mean. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see something like this flash across. That he. Where is it? Breaking news.
Well, just save that for a breaking news video.
I know. They might have to escort him.
Why you got the Eagles logo on his?
I just looked up Doug Peterson fired, and it was there when he got fired from the Eagles. So I just pulled it real quick.
We should just use that on ours and see how many people comment. You assholes!
Get pissed off about it. Our luck, like a lot of people would be pissed off about it, but Tank Dell or Adams, Devontae Adams, don't care. First game, get it, don't care. Devontae Adams this week in a good matchup.
I like both a lot, but I think I've been hammered. I've telling everybody to start Adams, and I like Dell a lot, but this has to be a Devontae Adams game. Even down to like on the Pat McAfee show, like Devontae Adams sneaking in, like they're making a joke out of it. They better fucking produce this week.
Yeah,
I don't want to see those memes.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they're in the hole right now, record wise. So like they know they have to start off. And I mean, last time I checked, Devontae Adams was plus 165 to score a touchdown, which was lower odds, meaning you couldn't get as much money in return. Garrett Wilson has had longer odds to score a touchdown. So Vegas likes Adam this week. You're smirking. I feel like are you doing something right now?
Yeah, I got to pull up. This is like, I love this picture.
Okay.
And it's not letting me pull up. You can go on. I'll pull it. I'll find a good one.
All right. Nikki Castaneda, whatever. Doesn't matter. Nikki said Monty A-Chain, Brian Robinson Jr. this week. I mean, so if I had to rank them, Monty safest floor play, A-Chain highest. I don't even know if A-Chain's highest ceiling. I think Brian Robinson's still the highest ceiling here. And A-Chain would be the second highest ceiling. I think I go B-Rob here and risk it. I know that the knee injury worries me. Like, do they lower his workload? But I don't think that they were comfortable not playing him last week, right? They have a good matchup where they should beat Carolina. So if they're going to play him this week after being comfortable enough to sit him last week, that tells me that they're comfortable giving him his due. And so I feel fine starting him this week.
Week 5, Brian Robinson was dealing with the knee. He had 21 offensive snaps. Still only 13.8 PPR points, but that was a game. He had 2 touchdowns and 3 carries inside the 5. So even banged up, they trust this guy inside the 5 more than, so like that just tells me, he's a little bit banged up, but they're going to give him those. If they're going to cut him down, it's not going to be in the money zone.
Yeah. Yeah, who's not in the money zone is Christian Kirk, but wait a minute. As I say, he catches a 20-yard pass. So that's half of what I need for him on his total at 41. So literally there was not even meant to be that. I was getting ready to say it and he literally caught the pass. So that was not planned. Actually it might have been more than a 20-yard pass. ATL coming in with a super chat, $2, said A-Chain or Connor, 1 point PPR. I'm going to go Connor here. The matchup is tough, but look, the matchup is tough for Connor. And I get it, but I think the game script is going to lend them to running the ball. I don't think the Chargers are going to blow this team out, where I do see a world where Anthony Richardson looks good and this Colts team ends up putting up some points and this Dolphins team is playing from behind here. So I would start Connor. I know it's not sexy. I know A-Chain feels like a higher ceiling, but I would start Connor.
I like Achan this week in the matchup. I'm sitting Connor myself, and Connor is normally that high floor player that I like to start no matter what. But he's coming off of like 3 out of his past 4 games. He's been 12, 8, and 3 PPR points. That's little, he had 5 targets last week. That saved his day because otherwise he had 7 for 24 on the ground. Now this is the toughest matchup he's gotten since Detroit in week 3, which was his worst fantasy outing. So I'm going to go HN. Connor worries me.
Okay.
Like I'm sitting him myself in everywhere I can. And what that means, like if it's Connor or like some low ass running back that like I have to start Connor over, but like because I have a few places I'm really banged up, but I'll start HN over Connor.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I can be swayed both ways. I totally get it. William Stevenson said, "Good morning, gents. What's going on, buddy?" He said, "Downs or Deontay Johnson this week?" It's Deontay Johnson for me. I need to see it with AR before I before I comfortably start Josh Downs. I do think Josh Downs is the better player in this offense over Pittman and the rest of the guys. I'm high on Downs, so maybe there's delusion there, but I also think we saw it on that one drive or 2 drives that we got with AR before he got hurt. When he came against the Steelers game, like they looked Downs' way. So I feel confident. What about you?
I'm going Deontay over Downs.
Does the injuries worry you about Deontay? He's got the ankle, he's got the ham, he's got the rib.
But if he's playing though, like like everybody, to me, like everybody's banged up at this point.
Yeah.
If he was that banged up and he's not going to go, then I think they sit him. Yeah. Like it doesn't Downs, he's nursing something too.
He's got a toe. Yeah, he's got a toe.
So like, I like this spot more for if it was Joe Flacco, I would probably go Downs in a lot of spots. But like, and I was the biggest fucking Anthony Richardson stan going into this season. Like he is borderline droppable for me.
Yeah. Stop me if you've heard this before. Brian Thomas, big play, touchdown. So that's 10-7. Jags get on the board and we're rolling a little bit here in London. Zach Linton said Andrews or Kraft. It's Andrews for me. I don't know where you fall here.
Andrews, this could be the week Andrews gets into the end zone. His usage is going up.
Well, he scored last week too.
Okay. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
scored last week.
All right. Yeah.
Still, I'm with you there.
What does the game script look like? Like, I think with the trend we're seeing with Mark Andrews, if this is going to be a run-heavy game script, that you consider sitting him. But when they have to throw the ball, he is still leaned on as a pass catcher.
Yeah, I'm with you. And for what it's worth, Tucker gets a tough matchup. Texans are third best against the tight end position, Andrews gets the Bucks, who are not great, not bad, 17th middle of the pack. The tight end.
By the way, the Bet365 boosts cash. By the way, if anybody took that, if you took that,
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it was plus 100 for both quarterbacks to throw a touchdown pass.
Nice. We're looking solid in the early slate. We've been talking about it. We're still working on it. We might do some sort of membership for our bets. Something small. We might give away a couple of giveaways. So keep on notice for that. We'll be doing some stuff behind the scenes to get that rolling. 3P with another question. I think that's your third question today. We may have to limit you. Said flex PPR start 3 Ayuk, JSN, Mason, Juju, Adams. Definitely starting Adams. Don't want to start Ayuk at all. I think it's Adams, JSN, and Mason for me.
Adams for sure. JSN and Mason. I'm going that way as well. Ayuk and Juju are the odd men out.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of with you there. Ty Williams said Eckler, Sermon, or risk it with Aaron Jones today. I'd risk it with Aaron Jones. If he's playing, I'm not worried about the workload. Sermon's got the knee injury and didn't look great. And Eckler, it's really between Jones and Eckler, but I'm going to go with the better player in Jones right now. So give me Jones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Aaron Jones. He's just too busy as a receiver to sit. I don't love him to go off today, but I think he might have the best floor of all three of these guys. Eckler's in a good spot too. Um, how many times have we gone over that this week, Pete? How many running back duos have gone off against the Carolina Panthers? So I don't mind Eckler either, but there's just less competition in that backfield, like Ty Chandler and Akers. Like I don't fear those guys.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But Anthony, you bring up a good point. I mean, we've seen so many duos do well against this Panthers defense. So, Debbie, what's going on? Debbie, I hope you started the Broncos defense. I know Debbie reached out to me like an hour before that Broncos Thursday night game, and I told her to start the Broncos with confidence. They should have scored you at somewhere between 25 and 30 fantasy points. So nice day for them. Said good morning, guys. PPR Superflex need a flex. Connor Mooney, Worthy, or Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson. Right. Okay. One out of these. Worthy's a no. I like Worthy, but not over these guys. I think it's between Mooney and Deontay, and I think I go Deontay Johnson.
Same here.
Okay. Hoff also agreed. Hoff had said that to Will.
I agree. We took some shit, by the way. We did that Deontay Johnson. We did a video in the offseason. And after like week 1 or 2, we had a couple of trolls come in there. Oh, how does that Deontay shit look?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it look now? Now he has a quarterback.
They haven't circled back with us, so maybe we'll hear.
I commented back. I'm like, hey, we can't control how bad Bryce Young is. But then like obviously the guys start cooking.
Yeah. Well, Deontay's got a tough matchup against Denver next week, but and then I think they get the Chargers the week after, or in a couple weeks after that.
How insane is it that like you have 3 of the top defense in the NFL in that division?
Yeah, it is crazy. People don't put enough respect on the Chiefs defense. Spagnuolo is just an absolute wizard, and the Chiefs are in such a good position because Spagnuolo doesn't want to be a head coach, and a lot of times
I don't think he struggled so poorly.
I know, but
he's not going to get that shot again.
Still though, I mean, like I would think he would get looked at least. I mean, he's not even interviewing. Like Vance Joseph struggled with Denver, and I would put money on it that he gets interviews this offseason. Does he leave? No, but does he go? Does he get hired? I don't think so. But it would be good for us. I mean, I think you get 3 comp picks for the diversity minority hires. So Jesus. I'll take 2 third-rounders for Vance Joseph if Jim Leonard gets pushed up into that DC role after. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. The only other thing I was going to say with Bet Spagnuolo is how many times do we see teams win a Super Bowl and then their coordinators are poached? Like the Chiefs haven't run into that at all. They have one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, and they have arguably the best OC in the NFL, or head coach OC in Andy Reid.
Well, yeah, I would say Nagy's.
Yeah, I know, but it's Reid calling the plays. Yeah. I mean, we know that. All right, let's move on here. Dusty Johnson said, pick between the other 2 for my flex option. Cup was my flex, but he's out. JMO or Lad? It's JMO. I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten a JMO question today, so I'm happy we get one now. I think JMO is going to go off. I am getting a vibe that him and Addison are going to be monster plays today. More JMO than Addison. But what about you? Do you agree, JMO over Lad?
Yes, I like Lad. He's more of the the high floor play, but Jameson, like this Minnesota defense is good. You can throw on them.
Yeah. Yep.
We've seen Garrett Wilson got 22 targets and played well. Not saying Jameson's going to get that, but he's going to get they like to use Jameson in these big spots.
Yeah, and they run a lot of man coverage, and JMO is very good against man coverage for what it's worth because he's a burner. So I think JMO's in a good spot today. Willie Bob Stevenson said, start one Sermon, Tracy, or Hunt. Not starting Sermon. I would go Tracy over Hunt this week. I know it's. I know.
Or Hunt. I'm going with Tracy.
Yeah.
He's just. I'm all in on this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Debbie said, of course I did, Pete, in terms of, starting that Broncos defense. Michael Lopez said, hit that like button. Zach Linton said like button as well. Hoff also said, hit the like button. So yeah, if you guys are here, we really appreciate it. Hit that like button. We are probably going to go. Do we want to we go up to 11? I mean, I'm okay to keep going if you are, Anthony. I don't know.
I might go get some water in a minute.
Yeah, if you want, you can hop off for a
No,
second.
I'm not going to go. Yeah, I'm just going to run and fill up my water.
Yeah. We have a lot of questions, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to go through while Anthony's gone. I'll try to rapid fire through a couple of these. But I mean, we are pretty backed up on these questions here. So hopefully some of you are still here as I start pulling some of these. Pablo said, would you start? Okay, you know what? I realized, Pablo, I'm sorry. We pulled your question up and then I dropped it off because we started talking about something else. So, would you start Nick Chubb for his first game back or sit him? No, I wouldn't start Nick Chubb this week. Vegas has him at 39.5 rushing yards. They don't even have his rushing attempts or him to score a touchdown up last time I checked. So, it seems like Vegas doesn't know what to expect with him. I don't either. So, no. Would you bench James Conner for Chubb? No, I would not. Zach Linton said, throw that DK line in here. Yeah, Hoff, if you're in the chat still, throw that DK, that DraftKings, what do you want to call it? DraftKings DFS lineups if you want to play with us. We've been doing it every week. So yeah, jump in if you guys are listening and you want to play. Alicia said, I've got Chase Godwin starting at wide receiver. Question 2 RB 1 flex. Pollard, Mixon, Dobbins, and Hall. Man, this is tough. I don't want to sit Hall. I really like Dobbins this week. I like Pollard this week. I like Mixon this week. I think Hall has the toughest matchup this week. I'm going to still start Hall. I'm going to go Hall, Dobbins, and Pollard, and I'll sit Mixon. This is like an impossible question though, Alicia, but yeah, I mean, you're in a really good spot. So I think you're okay either way. And I saw you said, or Chubb. I wouldn't start Chubb. I would wait to see it with him first. RP10 said, would you trade Jamar for Flowers and Gibbs? I would not. Hang on to Jamar Chase. I feel good about him, as most people should, unless you're really in a pinch and you need the depth. But I think Zay Flowers is going to continue to be up and down and volatile. So I would prefer to hold on to Jamar, unless you can get a better receiver than Flowers. So moving on here, as you can see, I'm rapid firing through some of these. Willie Bob said, "Does Russ make it out of the first half tonight?" Yeah, I think he will. We'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting. That whole Steelers situation is very confusing right now. Alicia said, "Happy Sunday, buddy," to Hoff. Yes, happy Sunday to you all. Happy that you guys are here today. We appreciate you. Zone Read Fantasy. 0.5 PPR, Debo or Flowers, already starting Bijan, Pollard, Monty, and Reed. I'm going to go Debo. I think this is a good matchup for Debo. Chiefs defense tends to funnel into the middle of the field, and that's where Debo makes his hay a lot. Brian Thomas with a freaking amazing catch. Holy shit, this guy is just so good. I was worried about him today with Christian Gonzalez shadowing him, but clearly he doesn't seem to have trouble. He might be matchup proof at this point. Dude is just so good. I think that had to have been a 50-yard shot. Yep, 50-yard shot. I don't even know if it was against Christian Gonzalez though. I don't know if Gonzalez is 0. It was against Gonzalez. Okay. Well, Brian Thomas, monster. All right, moving on here. Charlo Sino said full PPR need a flex. Jordan Mason, Chase Brown, Darnell Mooney, or Juju. I felt like we got this question already. Maybe we pulled it and you sent it again. But yeah, I would start Chase Brown over these guys. Albert coming in saying, hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Thanks for dropping him in. UBLQ, don't know how to say it, but on Twitch here said, good morning. With Cup likely out, 1 flex, 0.5 PPR, Dobbs, Moss, Wandell, Pickens, or Sermon. I'm going to ride here with one. It's 0.5 PPR, actually, so I would go with Pickens here for the big play. Maybe scores a touchdown out of this group. Anthony is back. Matt Schmidt said, my running backs are King Henry and Breece Hall. This might have been in reference to one of his questions from before. Let's see. The Jags D is looking nice, by the way, Pete. Yeah. They look all right. All right. Next question here. Anthony's back. Mike Howard said, thinking on trading Waddle, Zach Moss for Harrison and Rashad White. What's your thoughts there? Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. I'm not in love with Rashad White, but maybe Zach Moss is workload is kind of up in the air right now, and I prefer Marv over Waddle.
I don't love the deal, but I do feel like when it's all said and done, the best player in this deal might be Marvin Harrison Jr., and that's the one I would want to get. Oh,
Yeah.
Hi.
What's up?
Hoff dropping in. What's up, buddy?
The headphones got charged to 70%, so I figured it was okay.
All right, good. Now we have Hoff in the chat. Well, not in the chat anymore. He's now on the mic. So
That's right.
We'll take that. You ready to roll? You good to answer some questions here?
Oh, sure.
All right. Reset said Josh Downs or drop someone for Whittington, Tutu, or Hopkins. Need one. Also, Flex and Njoku. Tight end is McBride, but only other option is I pick up someone above.
Is that
Bigsby? Did they score?
I think Bigsby. No, they stopped them. They're not going to call him a touchdown, which I fucking need for a bet.
No, yeah. Well, I'm ahead of you. They just scored. Bigsby just scored on the next play.
Okay.
He could drop Tutu Atwell for Whittington. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I think that's what
I
he's saying. I think that's what he's saying. No, or drop someone for. So he said Josh Downs or drop someone.
Oh.
But I don't know who you're dropping.
Yeah, I don't know who you're dropping.
We don't really know. So if you want to circle back, reset, we'll try to answer that again. Leo said full PPR, Laporta or Bucky this week. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go same report on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole PPR deal.
Yeah, Laporta here as well. I don't love it, but we could be potentially looking at a three-headed monster in that running game right now for Tampa.
That was a touchdown by Tank, right?
Yeah, looked like it was. I didn't end up getting the bet in for Tank to score, so now I'm kind of pissed.
Womp, womp.
But what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go opposite though. I'm gonna go Bucky here. I just have a feeling that he's gonna end up getting most of the touches today. 3P, man, these are tough questions. AOC or Mason Rudolph today. I'm gonna go Aiden O'Connell. I don't like either of these guys, but Rams defense, I do like them to stream for defense this week. But I don't want Mason Rudolph against the Bills.
I don't like either.
I don't like either, but I don't know what is up.
Is there anybody else?
If I would start Russ, if Russ is available, I'd go pick him up and start Russ at this point.
I had answered him and I told him that I hated this, but I went with Mason Rudolph. But I mean, either way, you're sweating going into it. Yeah,
yeah.
And who does the Las Vegas get?
Rams, which is a softer matchup in the second.
Yeah, I guess I would go O'Connell.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Farva.
Yeah. I picked up Mason Rudolph in the Scott Fishbowl, and I'm like, I'll just keep Josh Palmer in there, though. Because I have my, Carr's hurt, Dak's on a bye.
Right.
So I'll just start a player.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to see. I guess I didn't take Tank Bigsby to score a touchdown, so I'm pissed. I'm trying to look to see what answers Hoff answered, so we can kind of skip down. We're so backed up right now, guys. I'm gonna go back to the more recent questions instead of the ones from 30 minutes ago.
If you're still here, ask your question again.
Yeah, right. Come back down and answer again so we can help you out. Impossible. Said 0.5 PPR, start one running back, one flex, and one wide receiver. Chuba, James Cook, Chase Brown, Eckler, Tracy, Zay Flowers, JSN, and Pittman. Hoff, where are you going here?
Chuba, JSN, and Tracy. Tracy's slightly over Brown for me.
Anthony?
Chuba, James Cook. So you need one running back, a receiver, and a flex.
Yeah.
I would go Chuba, Chase Brown, and Eckler or Tracy.
It's so funny because I was gonna say Chuba, Eckler, and Chase Brown too.
Did you pick 3 running backs there, Anthony?
Oh, he did. Yeah, it's.
I did. Receiver. All right.
Yeah.
So then I would probably flip. I would go Chuba. Eckler, and if you need you need a wide receiver in JSN.
Yeah. I would do.
Ah.
I would go Zay Flowers over JSN.
I absolutely love hearing you pick Eckler. That just made my morning.
Me too.
I mean, I've been starting Eckler in a dynasty league. You might know.
Oh, naughty boy. I like it.
Jared,
I could be down on a player and still profit on him, right? You got to
Okay,
pivot
all
in
right.
this business.
Yeah.
Jared said, "Cheers to the best fantasy football podcast." We appreciate you, Jared. Thanks for always hopping in and supporting us, man. Mobbin, sorry, Mad Dog, I'll get you in a second. Said, "All right, looks like Mike Evans is playing. I think he's limited? Question mark. Or should I start Mooney or Jamison Williams over him?"
I don't see anything about him being too limited, but I would still go with Jamison Williams. Pete, I heard you talking a lot about him earlier, and I'm buying into it. So
Yeah, it's tricky for me. I mean, I do love JMO. Mike Evans gets such a good matchup with the Ravens, though. So I'm gonna go with Evans, and I hate it. I love it, but I hate it because I love JMO. But yeah,
cool.
Anthony.
I would go Evans, right? How limited is he?
They haven't really said. I mean,
if you're really scared about it, I would go Jameson, but like I think I like Mike Evans in this spot.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube and you see where Mobbin's comment is, that's where we're gonna start reading off comments down. So anybody above that, just resend in your question. Just makes it easier for us here. Mad Dog said PPR RB1 is Kyron. Need an RB2, Najee, Bucky, or Tracy. So let's answer that part first, and then we get to the second half of the questions here. Oh, well, he also said need one flex, so you could also flex one of these guys. So his wide. Hold on, let me reread this off. PPR RB1 Kyron, need an RB2, so it needs an RB2 out of Najee, Bucky, and Tracy. So at least one running back, and then he said need one flex between RBs and then Amari, Pickens, or Worthy. So Hoff, what do you think? And said good luck today. Good luck.
I'm gonna go Bucky. I would like to go Najee, but I'm not in love with the matchup, so I'm gonna go with Bucky in that case.
Okay, Anthony.
Najee, but I'm gonna go Tyrone Tracy over both.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go with Tracy as well. I kind of think Najee sneaky because with Russ and the dump offs, maybe that's a thing. But and then for the flex, I would flex either Pickens or Worthy, and I'm gonna just go with my gut and just say Worthy for some reason. I just have a feeling about Worthy today, so I'd go Worthy. You guys?
It's either Pickens or Worthy. Amari Cooper worries me with the transition, plus the Titans secondary is one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
So like there are two things. As I do like Pickens more with Russ, but Worthy, like the Chiefs coming off the bye, and you have a player with that type of skill set, you would think that Andy Reid's going to put him in scoring position.
Yeah. I mean, the Niners secondary finally showed some signs of life last week, but I still think that Worthy can probably get behind them and get a big play.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you there. I just think Andy Reid off the bye. I don't know. I'm just buying into that they're going to game plan and scheme him open. Noah 305 said, should I keep McConkey in my flex, even though he's questionable, or flex Whittington since Cup is out? McConkey plays tomorrow. I'm going Whittington as well.
All day. I already picked him back up in 2 leagues this morning, and I have him starting right away.
Yeah, so I would go with Whittington too.
I would go slightly Whittington as well, but I do like McConkey today.
So to be selfish, I'm chasing points in one league. I have Downs starting. You'd pick up Whittington and start him over Downs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't trust Anthony Richardson to stay healthy or to complete passes.
Yep.
So that's it.
And the
would you start Noah Brown or Tutu Atwell over Josh Downs?
Noah Brown, but I'd still rather have Whittington. But
would you start Tucker Kraft over Josh Downs?
You're getting real selfish here. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, Anthony. What do you? Am I crazy? Should I roll the dice with Downs? Like, I mean,
over who?
I could start him over. Whittington's now not available. I just realized. So would you start him over Tucker Kraft, or Noah Brown? Any of those guys?
Possibly. I probably would start him over both.
Okay. Okay.
I don't love the situation, but it's not like Kraft's in a great matchup. He's more of a matchup-based guy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah Brown, I like a lot because, Noah Brown last year with C.J. Stroud had a couple of monster games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I just, this is so much of a run-centric team where Houston threw a lot. They're very much a run-centric team in Washington where the ancillary weapons outside of McLaurin scare me.
Yeah. Yeah. Jags with a punt return for a touchdown. So now the Patriots are down 10. So Anthony, we're looking shitty now.
You look better than me. You got plus 6.5. I took the fuckers outright.
I got plus 7.
Fuckers.
Should I offer Mason and Garrett Wilson for Taylor and DK? Yes, Jared. We answered this before. You might have missed it, but yeah, we all agreed on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay Stacks, full PPR, 12-man, 2 running back, 1 flex, Brian Robinson, Hunt, Dobbins, McLaurin, Jameson, Williams, B-Rob, McLaurin, and JMO for me.
No, he's 2 running backs.
Yeah, sorry. B-Rob, Dobbins, and McLaurin for me.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Mo Diesel, start 2, half PPR, Shakir, Judy, Trey Tucker, Palmer, 2-2. Rank them. Do I have to rank them?
Ha!
This is fucking this is tough. This
That
is bad.
is gross. All right. No, screw it. I'll play. I'm gonna go Trey Tucker, Judy, Palmer, Shakir, 2-2. Life after Devontae Adams. I know AOC is gross, but
I prefer 2-2 over Tucker if Cup is out. But I don't want to in any world start Joshua Palmer, and I missed on him completely. So I think Anthony wins a pizza bet there. I'd have to take a look.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Judy and Tucker over the rest.
Yeah, I'd go Judy and 2-2 for me over the rest. But all right. Well, since we're talking Shakir and we're okay on questions, I'll get to you, Alicia, in a second. Shakir, right? Like, where do we fall with him? Like, do we think the Amari Cooper trade maybe helps him out, open things up for him? Do you think Shakir's value is pretty much the same? I mean, where are you guys at on Shakir at this point?
I think his value is pretty much the same as to what we were getting from his output, which is not really consistent. He'll have a decent game here or there. So that's it. Like I think the addition of Devontae Adams helps Garrett Wilson more than the addition of Amari Cooper helps Shakir.
Okay.
Shakir's not a wide receiver 1. And I think the fact that they were using him as such for the most part. So, obviously the addition of Cooper, there is a world where we see some more efficiency. I don't know, the targets may never be there. He hasn't seen more than 5 or 6 targets in a game. But can he be more efficient? Can they be a little bit better with their play calling and more creative? Is he going to see lesser coverage? So I think I'm not willing to drop Shakir. I think you hold him, and he's a matchup-based play. He's not usable against Tennessee. His next 3 weeks are not great. Tennessee, Seattle, Miami. But, the playoff schedule for this team outside of the Jets in Week 17 is pretty good.
That was why when I said I'm selling him and then willing to buy back in later was because of that playoff schedule. Maybe you get an owner where, that last matchup that's tough. Maybe you buy him that week and stash him on your bench and then try to hold him for possibly that nice run that he has later on. Alicia came in and said Stroud or Love rest of the season. I'm sick of making this decision every week. It's Jordan Love, for me at least. I just think the reason being is that Jordan Love has a little bit of Brett Favre in him. And I know it's ironic because they both played for the Packers, but he's a gunslinger. He loves it. He loves to take chances. And I mean, he's thrown 10 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. over 30 fantasy points 2 out of the last 3 games. I just with Stroud, I just worry that they want to run the ball a little bit more than the Packers do. You guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, but on a per game basis, Houston is throwing way more than Green Bay is. Now you could say, is that a product of not having Joe Mixon for multiple weeks? And now they have him back so they can transition to it. I still think I would go Stroud slightly over Love, but I get why this is a hard decision to make because they are that damn close. And I feel like if you have both of them, it's more so based on matchup.
Anthony?
But yeah.
If I can only have one, it's Jordan Love because they are more throwing dependent. And I guess it's crazy to say because they have Josh Jacobs, but like you said, like Josh Jacobs, they don't run the ball on the goal line. It seems like it's Jordan Love throwing. Yeah. And it took him a couple of weeks last year to start cooking, and we're starting to see him cook now coming off the injury. And I think Stroud was very much Nico dependent. Like, so when Nico's out, I do worry about Stroud's ceiling.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say, Hoff, too, in the games that Jordan Love has came back, I mean, he's threw 54 times once, 34, 26, and 32. The games that he was out, maybe they ran the ball a little bit more, week 2, week 3 with Malik Willis. I'd have to dig into
what?
it more.
I'm going to flip my answer, actually. Never mind.
I mean, I don't think you're in a good spot.
I mean, they're close. Yeah, they're close.
Yeah, you're in a good spot if you're Russell both. Jay Cano said Bucky or George Pickens PPR. Pickens for me.
Yeah, I'll go Pickens.
Yeah, Pickens as well.
Evans, DK, B-Rob need 2 half-point PPR.
Ooh, man. I love all 3 this week.
Yeah. So do I.
I'm going to go DK and B-Rob.
I'm going to go DK and Evans.
I'm going to go.
But I also love B-Rob.
I'm going to go DK and B-Rob, I guess. I'm going to go Evans and B-Rob, actually. I know this doesn't help because we've all given 3 answers.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I go Evans and B-Rob. I don't know. I think DK is going to have a nice
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. Can't always agree on everything.
Nope.
C-Dog, Gino, Richardson, Kyler. Gino for me.
Yeah, I had answers in the chat earlier because he was in here asking, and I would go Gino as well.
Antonio.
As crazy as it sounds, Geno Smith.
But I mean, it doesn't sound. I mean,
it projected shootout.
Yeah. I don't think it sounds crazy at all.
I'm just kind of lost on the Jags here for a second. So It's 1st and 10 with 36 seconds left, and they decide on the first play to throw a pass, a dump off for 5 yards, and then they just run out the clock. Like, what was the point of that?
Fantasy points.
Yeah,
I guess
that's it.
Okay.
Doug Peterson's preparing for life after Jacksonville. That's
shit.
He's gonna become a fantasy analyst.
I don't know if 3P's asked us like 6 questions today. I don't know if we answered this one, but he might not have heard it. So let's answer it anyway. With Hoff here, it said half-point PPR, JSN, Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy, pick 2. Wow. Hoff, what do you got?
JSN and Chase Brown are where I'm going. I know Tracy has a lot of potential to bury me on that one, but I'm going to go JSN and Brown.
I agree. Anthony?
Tracy's my guy, but I think he sits out of these 3.
Yeah. We have a kicker question. Hoff,
hell yeah, we have a kicker question.
Will, Reichard, Seibert, Elliott, Carlson, Bates, Myers, McManus. Anybody you lean
Myers. Here? Myers, as far as the matchup goes. High scoring game. Myers.
Okay. And they're in a dome, right? Because
Seibert's usually pretty good. Austin Seibert. I actually just picked him up in the FFPC.
Yeah, he's good too. I would go Myers and then I go Seibert after that. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Impossible said, is Christian Kirk and Pittman droppable?
Depends what you're picking up when you're dropping them.
Yeah. I would hold. I mean, look, let's see what Anthony Richardson does with Pittman. I'm not high on Pittman, but let's hold that there. I could see
I mean,
dropping, but
I
I
will
would.
just say I'd be more inclined to drop Pittman instead of Kirk if it were
Yeah.
me. But I would also want to know the context of
Yeah, I'm kind of that's kind of what I would agree with as well.
Yeah, depending on who you're doing it for, obviously.
Yeah. We got about 5 minutes left. Questions are drying up, which is good. So we're pretty much gotten to everybody. If there was an older question, like we said, send it back in. But we only got 5 minutes left here. Emmanuel Torres said Addison Brown, JSN Leggett, start 2. I don't know if this is Noah Brown. I don't think it's AJ Brown. If it's AJ Brown, you start him.
Yeah, if it's AJ, you're starting AJ, but let's
gotta
assume
be
it's
Noah.
Noah. Yeah.
Right? It's gotta be Noah.
I'm going Addison and I'm going JSN. Out of these.
Same here.
I'm gonna go Addison and Leggett. I go Addison
Son
Leggett.
of a bitch.
Yeah, I just think if Deontay's banged up, Leggett's just been good. But I'm okay with JSN too. All right, RL PPR need one Juju and Jigba or Aaron Jones.
I've been going with JSN all day. I'll keep doing it. I will say though, because I know this will make Anthony so happy. I do envision a world where Juju catches a touchdown today against my 49ers. Because I hate Juju, and it's against my Niners, and it'll burn me double in. So I just have a feeling it's going to happen, but I'm still going JSN.
I have a feeling Kelsey gets his first of the year today.
I have more than a feeling about that one because he kills us. So yeah.
I'm going to go JSN slightly over Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have a super chat too, Pete.
Yeah, I see that. I'm going to go Aaron Jones here over JSN. We will get to you, Jimmy, T. Marsh, Dusty. And also Emmanuel Torres said it was Chase Brown. Sorry for not clarifying. Let's go back to him real quick, and then we'll give it to Scotty. If that's Chase Brown in this question, does that change your mind? Would you start Chase Brown, or are you still going Addison and JSN?
I would still go Addison and JSN. I mean, it does make it a little more difficult than it's, that being Chase and not Noah. But yeah, same answer.
Anthony?
Same answer.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to Scotty with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Scotty. He said half PPR, flex, Jalen Warren, Trey Tucker, or Waddle. I'm gonna go Waddle here.
I will go Waddle as well.
Yeah, Warren hasn't really done much this year.
No.
And I don't envision that to start anytime soon. Najee coming off one of his better games of the year. Tucker is intriguing against the Rams, but this should be a spot for Waddle, and this should be a solid spot for this Miami offense to show some signs of life coming up a bye week. If Mike McDaniel is such usually these offensive geniuses coming off a bye in week 1, they have their best game scripted, and if Mike McDaniel's that good, he'll find a way to get these guys going against the Colts.
Yeah. I'm kind of there with you. Jimmy Bang said T. Higgins or Tank Dell half PPR.
Bang bang. What's a hang?
I'm going Tank for me.
Yeah, I'm going Tank as well.
I would go Tank here as well.
T. Marsh, Devonta or Higgins. I'm going to go Devonta.
Same here.
Same.
Yep.
Dusty Johnson said, might have missed your response. Hubbard, Jacobs, McConkey, or JMO in the flex 1 PPR. I went JMO. I
don't know if I was here for that one, but I would go JMO as well if he's only picking one. Outside of that, it would have been Hubbard.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go.
That was just you guys.
I'm going Hubbard slightly over JMO.
Jimmy said, ha, ha, ha. Thank you. Yep. Thanks for dropping in. We got a couple minutes left, and then we're out of here, guys. Manuel Torres, we answered you. Brees the Dream said, Bijan or B-Rob, please. I need high upside with Kamara's bad performance. If you need upside, it's B Rob. We know Bijan's going to be in a pretty close split, and B Rob gets a monster matchup.
I would actually go with you on that one. If you're shooting for the ceiling, then yeah. Which it sounds like he is. Sounds like he's desperate.
I don't know if I could sit Bijan Robinson.
I get it.
I can't sit him. I love B Rob today, but I don't know if I can sit
Bijan has been doing better lately too. But
look what Bijan just did last week against Carolina, who Brian Robinson just got. I mean, Bijan got right against the team that B Rob is playing this week. I mean, it's tough either way. I just think B Rob is going to be in less of a split than Bijan. And that Falcons offense. The problem with the Falcons offense is not consistent with their game plans, as where we know that the Commanders are consistent with what they want to do.
Yeah, I go B Rob, but I get it. If anybody says I can't sit Bijan, I can't argue with you. And Steve says
Steve's with Anthony as well. Kobe, and then we are out unless a last second super chat comes in. Said, good morning, y'all. Choose one for flex: Tyreek, Chase Brown, or Addison this week.
I can't believe I'm living in this world where I'm saying this in week 7, but I would go Addison.
I'm going Tyreek Hill. I'm not sitting Tyreek Hill. Like if we're starting Waddle today, then I'm going to assume Tyreek should be in that same spot with that same narrative.
I just have a feeling
this guy into it.
Yeah, I just have a feeling that Jordan Addison's going to have himself a game today. Which Pete, I know you mentioned that earlier. But yeah,
I go Tyreek, but I do like Addison. I just like Tyreek more. So I'd go Tyreek, and then only because it's one more, and we can get this one answered quickly. It's start Hall or Dobbins. Hall going against that Steelers defense. I like Dobbins today, man. I do. I know it's hard sitting Hall. I don't know. Where are you guys?
I'm going Breece Hall.
I'm going Breece as well.
Hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get the Steelers defense is tough, but
Breece is starting to get going too.
Yeah.
I traded Marv and Eckler for Breece Hall 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Nice. in a 14-man. I find it easier to trade in deeper leagues. Because guys are more nervous and need to make moves quicker. That's gonna do for us. Barista Dream said, appreciate y'all, fellas. Have a good one today. You too. Anthony Hoff, any final words?
No, we'll be back tomorrow with our reaction show.
And for love of God, let's go Mets.
Oh,
Bob, sorry, I'm here.
Well, good luck.
You can send it off. Or whatever.
Send it off or whatever.
Yeah, go for it, Pete.
That's going to do it for us, guys. I guess it's coming back to me. Hopefully, Patriots +7. Hopefully, they cover for me and Anthony. And good luck on your bets. If you missed us, drop questions in the YouTube after this closes out. We'll try to get to them, but don't know how many we will be able to get to, but just get them in quickly so we have time to answer you guys. But we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and we'll see you guys then.